This is the 42nd episode of God's Chosen podcast. Today we are going to explore my thoughts on a few different subjects. Let's dive in. Enjoy.
What up, what up? It's your boy God's Chosen, back in the building, making it happen. Oh, it's a beautiful evening, beautiful day today. Still battling as always. Still surviving, still thriving, making it happen. I got people probably hitting their head against the wall, wondering how you keep doing this. There's only one explanation, really. God. He gets all the glory. I'm just a vessel. I'm just making sure that things go according to plan. That's all I'm doing. This stage, this is a part of the journey. And to get to the next stage, we have to close this cycle out. And this cycle involves some people balance, putting things back in order, creating balance. I think that's what 2024 is really about, creating balance, restoring order, and correcting the things that need to be corrected, right? Quite frankly, and a lot of these things have been out of balance for quite some time. People, places, and things. Now, everything is being balanced because you do have an opportunity for self-correction, but when that opportunity is ignored, then you got the divine steps in. The divine steps in and make sure things happen the way it's supposed to go. If balance is supposed to be restored, then it's going to happen. And this year is practically half over already. Seemed like we just started. I'll tell you what, didn't expect it to be this busy, not nearly as interesting as it's been. And learned so much in such a short time. Unlocked quite a few gifts and abilities. Growth has been amazing. From last year to now, it's been amazing in a relatively short period of time for the amount of growth that's occurred. Feel really good, feeling really, really balanced, really calm, really peaceful. Despite all the chaos, still, I'm in peace. I see everything clearly, despite the projected confusion. Life is definitely moving in the proper direction, despite all the attacks and all the evil lies and all the people wishing and praying on my downfall because they feel threatened by me speaking about some of the things that I speak about. And I mean, understandably, people are trying to protect what they've built on a weak foundation. I understand. No one wants to see everything they've built crumble because, for one, they've done a lot to get there. A lot to get there. They've done things that I don't know if they're proud of them or not, but they don't want nobody to know. You know? That's the whole scam right there. You know, that's the whole idea. Like, when people do all these things, it's like, okay, but nobody can find out about this. I'll do it, but nobody can find out about this. Because if they find out, I'm ruined. I don't know how that makes sense to do it if you know the result. If someone finds out, it's like you're giving people the opportunity to blackmail you. Later on, you're putting yourself in a position to be blackmailed. You're putting yourself in a position to where you will always have to do what somebody else says, especially if they have dirt on you, or you may just have to, quote unquote, play the game because you know they got dirt on you and you got dirt on them. So it's best that y'all play together to accomplish whatever the goal or mission is. But it's a constant cycle of watching this person, watching that person. When is this person going to betray me? When is this person going to turn on me? I know there was a point in time where it wasn't always like that, right? There was a time probably when you started out and you wanted to make a difference, you wanted to make a change, and then, at least I hope there was, but some people do start off that way. They start off wanting to make a change, wanting to make a difference, wanting to have a positive impact, and then they get caught up in this world of being dishonest, lies, blackmail, deception. It's like all these things that you realize, it seems like, oh, I have to do this in order to get here. Not necessarily. You don't have to do it. It's a choice presented to you, but you don't have to do anything. You make the choice right then and there how you want to proceed. Which side do you want to work for? Because on one side, once you start going down that road, there's no coming back because you're just going to get deeper and deeper. That's how it goes. That's the point. That's the whole part of having the hooks in you. So you are no longer in control of yourself. There is now someone else calling the shots, and you're going along with it because it's profitable and it helps to maintain the lifestyle, everything you built, right? You go along with it, and after a while, you become what you are surrounded by. And then it's just another day at the office. you become something or someone that you don't recognize yourself in the mirror anymore, because you've done so many things that were not ethical, were not moral, were not indicative of who you may have been at one point, or maybe an idea of who you wanted to be. It depends, right? Sometimes we go into this world and we see all these things that we want to attack and we want to change. You know, corruption being one. We see things like false arrests. We see things like people who deserve to be in jail are getting or walking away scot-free with like nothing but a slap on the wrist. We see people taking bribes, people giving bribes, and it just becomes so commonplace, and we think that's how it goes when you in this game. And so you play the game, you get in bed with him, because you know it's kind of like school when you see all the cool kids and they doing something and you want to be cool. You do the things that they doing so you could be cool or you could fit in. That wasn't me, by the way. I was just doing me. But I seen other kids do that to try and fit in. That was never important to me. Always had my own compass, my own way of doing things. People followed me. If I want to do something, I do something. People follow me. If y'all don't want to do it, y'all don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it. I remember when I was a little kid, in like first or second grade, I convinced my brother to sneak out the house. I convinced my brother to sneak out the house and go watch a movie all the way at school. School, we had to take a bus ride to school, and it wasn't a school bus. It was a grown-up bus. I convinced my brother to go with me to go see this movie that they were showing at school, and we had no permission to go. We went. It was the best movie ever. Came back. It was we got back on the bus. It was dark. Went back home, and I think we got our butts whooped. But we got a big, real stern talking to or something. We got in trouble, though. And it was still the best movie ever. I'll never forget that movie. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember every scene like it was yesterday. It was dope. And it was worth it. But those are the type of things, like, took those risks. But did what I want to do, still do what I want to do. I'm not a follower. Following sucks. Usually you follow people and you following them. It's on their time. It's on everything that they want to do. You may not necessarily want to do everything that they want to do. You okay with doing some things, but if they want to spend all day somewhere and you want to go back home, that's not it. You know what I mean? Especially if you rode with them, you stuck with them. You got to do whatever they want to do until they ready to go home. So I say that to say this. You may have started with good intentions. You may have wanted to do things a certain way. I don't know. Possible. Anything is possible. And although I know the world we live in is not black and white, as much as we would want it to be, there are hues of grays in this world. Shades of gray that are prevalent in society. So, like, if anybody who's listening that's considering doing anything that they consider to be a passion or something that they really feel they're called to do, stay on the right side of this. Stay on the right side of what you want to do. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is trying to get you to do, especially if it's not on the right side of things. Because we all want to do something that we're proud of, and we all want to do something that we can share and inspire people to take positive action, to be a positive role model in the lives of others. And it can be wild when you know, as a kid, your parents are like your first role model. They are the first people that you look up to. So if they aren't setting the right example, that's what you are going to see. That's what you are going to grow up. And if you never made the decision to not follow that certain path, then you are going to be on that path, because you never consciously connected the fact that you saw this behavior and you thought that it was okay, because you never said, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to be. Instead, it's more like you saw specific behavior, you mimicked that behavior because you thought that was how it's supposed to be. Because why would my dad be doing this, or why would my mom be doing this if it wasn't right, if it wasn't how it was supposed to be? You know? And that just tells you how much you looked up to them growing up. You didn't think like they would ever set you up to fail. And sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes they're just repeating cycles that's been running through from generation to generation. And they just don't know how to not do it. They haven't considered not doing it. You know, sometimes it's just repeating and it's unconscious. They're just doing it. But as an observer, you have to look at things and decide if that's the path you want to go down. Because once you go down that path, all you're going to do is bring up, you're going to be following suit, and then you're going to be doing the same things, building up the same karma, and it just keeps going and going from generation to generation until somebody says, enough. I don't want to do this anymore. This is unhealthy. And it's so interesting how things get passed down from generation to generation. Like religion is a big one. Politics is a big one. Like all the things they say people are afraid to talk about because they know like the differences can lead to fights or huge differences of opinion where I don't like you no more and you don't like me because I'm a Democrat and you're a Republican or what have you. All these things which make no sense to argue about for real. You should be able to be whatever you want to be. You're supposed to be whatever aligns with your beliefs. But the trick is sometimes you believe in both parties. You may not like a particular party, but there are things from each party that you resonate with, things that you agree with. And the thing about politics is always trying to play both sides. Politics is, they want to be everything to everybody, you know? So you never truly have a position. They have a position that's could be more so of popular opinion because they want the popular vote. But really, how many politicians where you really know who they truly are and what they truly stand for? Because most of it is an image. Most of it is made up. Most of it is, created and crafted to cater to specific groups. They've got to cater to different levels of the population, different classes of the population, especially depending on what's the majority in their area that they're running for office. So they've got scripts, they've got all these things that they've got to say no and be able to project and answer questions about relevant topics to the people to make themselves be more endearing to the public. It's truly a game. Truly a game. It's so much, so much, so much, so much. I wonder, like, it's got to be overwhelming at times because you're being pulled in so many different directions. You've got to be able to do certain things on cue. You've got to be a master of putting on a show. You've got to be able to convince people you are the person. You are the one they need to vote for. You are the one that's going to make the change. We always talk about change, and it's a great platform to run on because people get confused. Some people get confused. Some people get excited. Some people get motivated. Some people agree that, yeah, change is what we need. And I love when people say change is what we need. Barack Obama ran on change back in the day. And I'm like, okay, Barack, change, huh? What you mean change, dog? What kind of change? Change just to be changing? Yeah, I didn't really fall for that, to be honest with you. I didn't fall for that Barack Obama running on change because, you see, when we hear the word change and we look at who Barack is supposed to be, we think that he means good change that's going to benefit us because he looks like one of us. Change that's going to benefit those who struggle from day to day. Change that's going to benefit those who know what it is to work long hours and just make it to daycare to pick up your family, your kids. and then have to go home and cook dinner and do all the things that you still have to do as a parent. When we hear the change, we can be fooled by a change because we think it's our change. We think it's the change that we thinking about. It's the change that we know we need to see in the country. But that's the trick. They say change. They let your mind wander as to what change. They'll give you snippets. They'll kind of lead you down the road a little bit to make your mind wander what kind of change. But you'll never really know until they get in office. And then you see them change. That's the change. That's the change for real. You know, so it's like we've been hoodwinked to believe certain things are true when they are not. And they're so ambiguous with it that they can say, I am changing things. I am doing this. I never specified exactly what change, so any change that I make is change. I was being broad. I was being general when I said change. Nothing specific. I give you a little tidbits of things that I have to do as a politician. But as far as things that will definitely impact you and I'm not even talking about things that's going to impact you on a grand scale. I'm talking impact you more directly, right where you're at, on the level that you're at. Because, yeah, you can impact things on a grand scale, but that doesn't help the people who actually voted for you, the people who put you there. We have to be more careful of who we put where. You know, one thing is for certain, the right candidates, we probably never see them. And if we do see them, it's for a quick second. Because the deck is stacked. It's stacked against them. The chances of the right candidate who actually wants to do the right thing, who actually cares, you probably never see them. Because they don't make it to where their name is on the ballot. They don't have the support. You need money. You need support from various donors, wealthy donors, people with influence. And the people that really want to make a difference, they never get that far. They don't have the support of the people that are out there doing the most, running amok. They just doing it. They just doing whatever. You know what I mean? The people that need to be there are not there. And that's for a reason. Because the whole system is broke. And the whole system is built off lies, cheating, deception, bribery, corruption. The whole system is built on that. Being fake. And that's why it's so hard for us to trust people that are in politics. Because we know, we see it. It's just slimy. And, you know, we need to have the right people in those positions. Like, we can't just put anybody in those positions. Because everybody in those positions are a representative of our community. And everything that they do reflects on the community one way or another. The thing is, when they all doing the same things, no one stands out. They're all playing the same game. So it's perfectly fine. They're doing what they think their role entails them to do. It's less about us and more about them and keeping things going. But I want to say to anybody just listening to this, you don't have to do what they do. You can be your own person. You can make your own moves. You can still succeed. You can still thrive. And if you put God in the equation, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to make it. As long as you do what you need to do and stay out your own way, you'll be good. So I'm going to leave it right there tonight. I appreciate y'all. It's your boy, God's Chosen, and I'm out.